because I have no value, I don't know how to take action. And the last couple of coaching calls I've had, it's like all these seeds are getting planted, and it's like, first one's, okay, you could take action. And then the second one is, well, you could choose to take action, but at the moment you're choosing not to take action. And then the third one is, well, maybe I could take action. I wonder what would happen if I took action. And so that's kind of where I've been over the last week is, I wonder what would happen if I took action. But I'm still not taking action.
Love it.
So our chat now is about that basically, is how do I get from I know I can take action, I know I can choose to take action, I could take action, but I'm not taking action.
Mm-hmm.
So I haven't got to that part yet of taking action. And it is my biggest struggle. It's probably going to be the dominating conversation in every call I have over the next couple of months, because it's my biggest struggle is how do I take action when I feel like a worthless sack of shit and I feel like nothing I do is going to work anyway, so what's the point?
Mm-hmm. All righty, Kaylee, welcome to my office. I love that you're like, I'm not taking action, because getting shit done is like my wheelhouse. So perfect timing. My first question is there anything in particular that you want to take action on? Like, is there a goal or something, or is it just like across the board?
There are so many different directions. So, and I'll just like the everyday normal stuff. I need to go and brush cutter outside because our grass is like this long, and it goes up to over my knees and you can't walk through it, and there are God knows what living in there. I need to do that. And we just moved here maybe 5 weeks ago. I haven't finished unpacking the boxes yet. They're still sitting on, some of them are still sitting on the dining table waiting to be unpacked. I need to sort out my daughter's room. Haven't sorted out her room. Her room looks like the fairies walked in there and threw up and then turned around and walked out. I want to get a business off the ground, but I don't actually know what I want to do. Well, I know what I want to do, but I don't know if I could do it. I don't know if I should do it. I don't know if anyone would pay me for it. So there are lots of different, like everyday normal activities that need to be done. Then there's things around the house that need to be done. Then there's, I need to earn money. Like that's a current reality. I need to figure out, how do I earn money? What am I going to do to earn money?
100%.
So yeah, there are lots of different.
There's lots of different moving parts. So when it comes to the things like the brush cuttering or the unpacking, like 5 weeks, that's not that long ago, setting up your daughter's room, etc. Are you the type of person who makes a plan, like I'm going to do this, this, and this today, and then doesn't follow through, or who just is overwhelmed? Like, tell me how these things, when they come up in your mind, oh, we need to brush cutter, or I need to unpack my daughter's room, or whatever. What happens then?
So for me, I know the list of things that I need to do, and I get this very intense feeling. It's more the feeling that it's like this defeated feeling. I'm already defeated before I've even started. And I don't know 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure it comes from that, well, you've got no value, you've got no worth, nothing you do is going to work. If you do it, you're probably going to fuck it up anyway. If you try to do it, you're probably going to do it wrong. And if you do it, you're just going to have to do it again. And I think that's also something I struggle with is, so the brush cuttering, I can do it, but then in 2 or 3 weeks time, I'm just going to have to do it again. And that's like the simple things like brushing your hair, brushing your teeth, making your bed, cleaning the room, putting your clothes away, all of that sort of stuff. I sit there and like, if I do this, I'm just going to have to do it again. So why don't I just not do it? Because otherwise I'm just going to have to do it again and again. It's like Groundhog Day.
And are there any things that you do again and again that you don't, like, you just accept? Like, you have to sleep every day. Does that bug you at all?
So sleeping is a challenge. I'm not a fan of sleeping, not because I have too much to do, just it's very quiet at night. It's very, very isolating, and more so for me because I'm in the middle of nowhere with nothing around me. So it's very quiet, very isolating. Sleeping is a challenge sometimes. But I guess the dishes, I've kind of in my brain accepted that I have to wash the dishes, because if I don't, then we don't have clean dishes. So I've worked out a rhythm, and I now understand that if I do not make the dishes the very first thing that I do in the morning after I get up, it won't get done. So if I get up and let's say I go to wash the dishes, but then I realize what the time is and I think, oh, I'll go let the chickens out first. If I let the chickens out first, I will not then come in and wash the dishes.
Interesting.
It has to be done first thing. Like yesterday, they didn't get washed until the end of the day. And I don't normally wash the dishes at the end of the day, but we went out I knew we had to leave in the morning, and I thought, okay, well, something happened. I think I had to go. That's right. So we have a sick chicken in the bathroom. So in the morning, the first thing is, well, I wanted to go and check and make sure that she was okay. So I went in, checked and made sure that she was okay, and that was it. Dishes aren't getting done now because I didn't first walk and do the dishes. They're not getting done. So sometimes it's that simple that if it's not done, then it doesn't get done. If I don't make the bed within the first, like if I get up, wash the dishes, and then I go in to make the bed, but the dogs are all on the bed, and I turn around and walk out, I don't make the bed.
Interesting. And you mentioned you have a daughter. Is she school aged?
Yeah, she's 9.
And is you homeschool or traditional school?
No, homeschool.
Homeschool. And how do you go with I imagine, I don't know, there could be some form of routine with her schooling. How do you
No,
go?
there's no routine with her schooling.
So how do they I don't know anything about homeschooling because my kids are traditionally schooled. Does she have to set any sort of tests or anything that they know
No.
that, nope. What
No.
about to become a homeschooler? Is there anything that you need to provide for them or anything?
Yeah, there's a whole process that you kind of have to go through, but that is different.
Ooh,
That's
how
different
so?
to this.
Tell me how it's different.
It's different, I guess, because it's a requirement. It's like it's a requirement. There's no choice. There's no choice. You have to do it. It's an absolute requirement that you do it. So there is no flexibility in, will I do it? Won't I do it? Should I do it? Shouldn't I do it? There's none of that. It's kind of like taking her to activities. There's no choice. It has to be done. So she has to do sport, some kind of sport every week. So I have to get in the car and drive her to, she does tennis and cricket. So I have to get in the car and drive her to tennis and cricket. That's what we do. I don't have a choice. I have to do it. So it's different. I don't have to wash the dishes. I don't have to make the bed. I don't have to clean the house. I don't have to do any of that stuff. I don't have to make money. I mean, technically, I don't. I could go on Centrelink and live in a tent instead.
Well, you could, yeah. But it's interesting when you look at the options because I find it interesting that if there's something externally, like then you're like, oh, well, I'll take her to sport or I'll do these things required by the education board or whatever. But left to their own devices, it's kind of like, yeah, like will I, won't I? I'm just curious about like what have you ever watched Lucifer, the TV show?
No,
On Netflix. Oh,
no.
it's a comedy. It's quite funny. He always says to people, like, what do you desire? Because, so often we're stuck in, what we should or shouldn't do or can or can't do. But like ideally, if you were going to wave, I'll say a realistic magic wand. Because the first time I said to somebody a magic wand, they were like wanting to live in the Maldives or something. But like realistically, if you were like, I didn't feel this, will I, won't I, not trying to take action or whatever, what is it that you desire?
I don't think my life would be that much different to what it is, other than I would probably have someone. The only way it would be different was I would have someone preparing the food for me. I would have a cleaner that came in and cleaned everything for me. I just heard that because I remember there was a rumor years and years and years ago, I think it was about Madonna, where she used to have an ass wiper. And when she went to the toilet, she had someone that used to go in and wipe her butt because she didn't want to do it herself. And I just had that pop into my head and I go, no, I don't.
Not that far.
I don't need to go that far. I don't need someone to come and wipe my butt for me. I go to the toilet. That's perfectly fine. But it is doing those things that I have absolutely zero desire to do, like cleaning, cooking. I guess that's really the only difference. And then my focus would be on something else. I mean, even if I look at my business, I can create these videos, love creating these videos. But if I could have someone then just take the raw content and create something out of it and put it online and I don't have to have anything to do with it, that would also be great. Because I'm kind of more I guess I don't do this, maybe I don't do the small tasks very well. And I have a series of, back in the day when you used to have to code websites, I used to love coding websites. I used to love building websites. So I would build all of these amazing websites and then they would be like affiliate sites and I would set everything up and everything would ready to go. But then I'd just pull it down because I didn't want to do the marketing, the traffic, the social engine optimization. Like I didn't want to do any of that stuff. But I would build the entire website and spend hours upon hours creating it. But don't ask me to do the rest of it. So I used to, even back then, I used to say, if I had someone that could then take these websites and run with them now that they've been created, and then they can do they can get all the traffic to the website, that would be amazing.
So have you thought, like, are you really, because you talk backtracking to getting your business off the ground, are you 100% committed to running your own business, or would you either subcontract or look at getting a job where you could do just your skill set?
I don't know. I haven't worked for anyone in a very long time. Very long time. It's probably been about 15 years. And I was speaking to someone about this the other day when we talked about talking about working and being an entrepreneur and working for yourself. And I said to her, the thing I don't like about a job is that I do not want to be in a position where I have to put my hand up to ask if I can go to the toilet. Like that's not my thing. I don't want to ask permission to go and do something. I want to just be able to go and do it. And that's where I guess I didn't do very well in school either. I wasn't very good about putting my hand up and asking permission. It's like, what? Why can't I just get up and walk out the door? I need to go to the toilet. I don't need you to give me a piece of paper that says I now have permission to go to the toilet. That's not my wheelhouse. That's not what I do very well.
But is there possible that there could be jobs that are flexible and remote and, you know, as long you negotiated a deadline that you would have something available for, and they weren't micromanaging when you went to the toilet and when which part was done by?
Possibly. I think I'm more inclined to do something for myself than do something for someone else. Because then you're still required to follow their rules. You're still required to follow their structure, their requirement. You have to work in the hours that they want you to work, not in the hours that you want to work. And yes, of course, you could find a job or opportunity that is within the hours of what you want to do. But then if there's no flexibility in that, so let's say one day I go, I don't feel like working today. I don't actually want to do anything. That is removed because you are now required to do something for somebody else and follow through with their structure. I do
Depends
not do
on the
any of that
position.
well.
Like there are positions that are fully remote, whether say if you're building websites and you have a deadline and the website needs to be delivered by say 1st of May,
Mhm.
You might be like in your mind, like they don't care how you do it as long as you deliver it on 1st of May. So you could have the days off like that. But there are also, like, I do a couple of subcontracting positions for people in the US because I'm Australian based, and I can do my time anytime within that week as long as by the end of the week the hours are done. So there's a lot more flexibility, especially now. I think that's been one of the gifts of COVID. We're not stuck routine, do this, do that, that we used to be. And the world is very, very small. But if you find what it is that you actually want to do and how you want to work, then you help find it or align with it, as opposed to thinking I'm going to be stuck by these arbitrary rules.
True, but I still don't really want to work for someone else. If I'm going to work, then I really want to do it for myself. I want to create some kind of service where I'm offering something to someone else, not, I just don't want a job. I'm not a job person.
Perfect. Good to know. So you don't want a job, you want to work for yourself. And do you know what it is that you want to do? You've mentioned websites, but I'm sure there's a whole host of things.
I don't do websites now. That was, like I said, when you used to have to code websites. So we're talking 15 years ago. I wouldn't build websites now. It's not my wheelhouse now. Now I'm more in line with the trauma. I would love to help people get to the point of where I am. So even though I'm still in my trauma, even though I'm still going through it, even though I'm still struggling with taking action, there is an element of trauma that I have done extremely well, which is the awareness. So I've spent the last, I guess, 15 years sitting the awareness of all of my subpersonalities, all the voices in my head, all my feelings, everything that happened in my past, inner child work, whatever you want to call it, shadow work, that's another thing people call it, is I have been doing that for 15 years that I am so acutely aware that there is nothing that passes through me that I don't know about. Now, the awareness doesn't necessarily create change, as I am a perfect example of, but the awareness is something that a lot of people don't have.
100%.
They don't know why they are where they are. Whereas I sit here, and it's funny because I've said to a few people, I'm on the train and I'm driving the train and I can see the wall in front of me, and there's a track that goes that way to the wall, and there's a track that goes that way, and I'm looking at the track going that way going, just going to go straight ahead. So I can actually see myself crashing into the wall because I'm so aware of it. And this is the action part, right? I cannot turn the wheel. Like I can't. I physically, something is keeping me here, even though I'm looking there going, no, this is the way we're going. Okay, all right.
What does that feel like?
There are so many different feelings that come up. So there's definitely frustration, and that's where the defeated comes in, because I feel like I have no control over my own actions, over my own choices. I feel very much like I am not in control here. There is something that is, I've got so many metaphors that I use to describe it, but it's, I think defeated is the best feeling. And then that defeat then goes to apathy, and then goes to sadness, and then goes to worthlessness, and then I go right down to the bottom and go, that's right, I have no value. Okay.
Yes. But you're aware
that's why
of
I'm
it
smashing
on each
into the wall.
level.
Yeah,
So,
I'm aware of each level. I know why. I just haven't quite figured out how to stop doing it yet.
and what have you tried?
Interestingly enough, since I've become more acutely aware of this, I have not really tried anything, because that comes under the action.
Yes.
right? That comes under the, well, it for me to try, it means that I somehow have to step out of this human that has no value, decide that I have value, and then make the choice to do something different, which is really challenging. But also, another way I describe it is it's like I'm a pinball machine, and when I was born, the ball got dropped. Somebody else pulled back the lever to let the pinball go, and then every now and then, so I'm not the one that's controlling it. So I'm not the one that's pressing the buttons on the side that's making the levers go up and down, which is making the ball go ding 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 ding. All of, like, the entire outside world, every person I come into interaction with will come and they'll go, oh look, let's press these buttons, and then let's make her do this and this and this and this and this. And there's such a strong part of me that has been programmed to be a chameleon, to be whoever the person in front of me wants me to be however I need to be for the person that I'm engaged with, which is why I do really hard in groups. Because if I'm in a group setting and there's more than one person, then all of a sudden I go into this like shutdown and I can't talk because it's, and when I look back, I go, well, I can't be who I need to be for you and you, because you're two completely different people. So if there's more than one person, I close down. I see myself do it all the time.
Interesting. So you said a number of times that you have no value. Do other people have value?
Guess it depends on the person. I don't know. I assume so. My daughter has value, obviously. She has value for me. But as for every other human being on the face of this earth, I don't know. You'd have to ask them.
Do you think
Do
you
they
have
have value to me? I don't know.
Yeah, that's my next question. Do you think you have value to your daughter?
Yes.
Yes. But you don't have value to yourself, is that correct?
Yeah.
And
I guess, but that's also a program. Like that is absolutely a program that got stuck inside me. It's not something I created, but it is something that I have validated over the years through different actions that I've taken and different mistakes that I've made. And so every time I take an action and then I make a mistake or make a wrong choice, it's like, see, you have no value. Remember that. It's like, okay. And then I guess, because I'm 48 now, so I guess 48 years of making mistakes and taking actions and then having the external world say, you have no value. And then like, I wasn't like this in my 20s or 30s. It's really only been in the last, say, 10 years or even less than that, that all of this has really unraveled. But I guess it's all of the mistakes I made in my 20s and then all the mistakes I made in my 30s and all of that validation that says, see, you have no value. That now I'm in my 40s, I've accumulated enough data that says, see, you have no value. And now I'm at that, oh, okay. Because I think in my 20s and 30s, there was still a part of me that kind of went, well, I know I have no value, but I still want to try. Like I still want to participate. I still want to be active. I still want to have friends. I still want to have partners. I still want to engage in the world. But now I'm, no, fuck it. I don't have value now. Now I have enough experience that I can agree with the fact that I have made enough bad choices in this world that says, okay, I can agree that I have no value. Therefore, I'm not going to bother participating in the world unless I absolutely have to.
And do you think that's blanket across the board? Because I'm just curious, because you mentioned in your 20s and 30s, you're still kind of like trying or things like that. You're doing this podcast. Is that not trying?
I think I'm doing this podcast in a way to save my sanity because I don't have anyone to unravel these, like all of this with. And the podcast last year started because I knew I needed help, but I couldn't afford it. So then I basically reached out and I was very open about it, saying, I can't afford for coaching. I can't afford this. So who has gone through trauma and wants to share their story with me so I can just see what you've done to get through it? And then this year it's from the very same perspective of, okay, I know I need help. I know I'm not in a position to pay for a coach. So how about I create a podcast where I'm getting coached and helped and supported through my trauma by lots of different people. And then I can justify that to myself by saying, and this is also going to help so many other people as well. Because it's not just me. I'm not just having this conversation with you for free and then it's going to go into the ethers and no one's going to see it. This is going to go on my podcast. This is going to go out on YouTube. This is going to have the opportunity to be seen by whoever needs to see it.
Yes. There's so many places we could go with this. I'm just curious. Imagine you said you had dogs. I'm tossing a ball. If it's like, yes, well, this is great. And if it's like, no, that's gone off into the field. It's, I'm not attached to either. Did somebody tell you have no value, or is that coming from yourself?
It's coming from a variety of different experiences over many, many, many years where my parents chose my sister over me in some very serious situations. It's almost the same as two kids are drowning and the parent went, I'm going to save that one. Sorry. We have to sacrifice you because we need to save that one. That's kind of what happened. I got sacrificed. So my sister didn't have to go through what she went through. And I don't think my parents realized, and I can't tell them because they're both gone, but I don't think they realized that they actually sacrificed me along the way. And that sacrifice made me kind of, I guess, because this is now the outcome, made me go, okay, well, obviously I'm not as important. I have problems. I'm getting bullied, but you're not stopping it from happening to me. You're letting it happen to me, but you stopped it happening to her. So
yes.
I think that's why. It was just that my parents threw me over and sacrificed me. And that outcome and then all the different situations that have happened over my life, all the friends that turned into being bullies, all the friends that decided they all of a sudden didn't want to be my friend, all the emotionally abusive partners, all the jobs that I went into that I hated and ended up leaving, just lots of little experiences has just validated it constantly over and over and over again. And now I'm, like I said before, now I feel like I'm sitting here with enough experience to go, yeah, okay. I clearly have no value.
And it feels frustrating and defeating. And I loved the analogy you gave with the train, as in like, I'm sitting there and I can see that I could, but I don't want to take the action.
I could, but I'm not.
Yes.
Yeah.
Are you open to doing a little process?
Sure.
Hang on, I just need a cough. Apologize one moment.
No, you're fine. Cough away.
Are you up for closing your eyes?
Yep.
Alrighty, so if you just close down your eyes and just tune into your breath, bring your awareness into your body. And as you inhale and exhale, invite your breath all the way down to your toes. And as you do that, I invite you to see if you can locate in your body where this part of you, like if there's a part of you that feels, I have no value, whereabouts that's hanging out in your body today. You might notice it straight up, or if you don't, just to do a body scan and notice, is there anywhere that feels tense or taut? Like tingling sensation. And just notice if you can bring any awareness to that place. Is anything standing out for you?
So I live with this feeling that just sits in my chest. It's like a really heavy, it's not a rock because it's permeable, but it's solid.
Yeah, perfect. So bring attention to that place in your chest and just allow yourself to connect with it. Now, if this gets in any way uncomfortable or too much, just signal me, let me know.
Mm-hmm.
But I want you to imagine like you're almost like a detective. So you're getting out your torch, your magnifying glass, and really have a look. What does it look like? Can you describe it in any more detail than you have already?
I would say that it's black or a dark grey. At the moment, it has smoke coming off it. It doesn't usually, but it has smoke coming off it at the moment. It's kind of like tar. It's a bit
Oh,
like tar at the
yes.
moment. You know, that hot ball of tar
Yes.
that's steaming? That's kind of what it looks like.
Does it have any smell associated with it?
I don't think so.
No. And you said like steaming. So the black smoke part itself, is it steady or moving?
I think it's moving.
Mm.
It's
What we
not
get?
solid like a rock. It is a permeable moving thing.
Yes. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to ask it a series of questions and let me know whatever comes to you. There's no wrong answer.
Mhm.
So just ask this black smoke, permeable rock type thing. How long have you been with me? Let's just see what comes up.
Forever.
Forever.
Mhm.
Just breathe in and out. You're doing great. And it may not be aware of this, but we're just asking and seeing, is there an event or a series of events that brought you into being in my life?
Yes.
And ask it, what purpose has it served in your life?
Destruction and chaos.
Oh, interesting. And just continue to connect with it. You're doing great. And just ask it, say you receive the destruction and chaos, but in its highest power or for its highest self, what does it actually want for you?
I'm getting safety and protection.
Interesting. Safety and protection.
Which I knew. I know that's why it's there.
Yeah.
It's not doing a very good job, but I know that's why it's there.
So just ask it. I love the awareness, as you said, you've got it, the awareness, but maybe this one might be something new. We'll see. What part of myself, like what part of Kaylee do I need to activate to move past this no value destruction and actually allow the safety and protection?
There's a part of me that knows, and then there's a part of me that doesn't want to say. And the part of me that doesn't want to say is much stronger than the part that knows.
So the part of you that doesn't want to say, is it related to what's happening in the chest or is it somewhere else?
No, that's somewhere else.
Interesting. Do you want to connect with that part at all?
Sure.
Whereabouts is that?
That's down in my stomach.
Down in your stomach. So bringing your attention, so just letting the black smoke tar part know, we'll come back. Bringing your attention to what's down in your chest. What does that look like?
That
Oh,
is,
sorry, stomach. I apologize. In your stomach.
oh, that's all right. I knew what you meant. That is kind of like a flaming sword.
Ooh, interesting.
With smoke coming up as well, because they're all connected. So that one connects to the other one, and the smoke is their connector.
It connects to it. Is it the same though? Does it have the same origin?
No, it's different.
No, it's different. And I just want you to, as you bring your attention to the flaming sword part, just acknowledge it, thank it for making its presence known, and ask it the very same question. How long have you been with me?
Forever. For all of time.
Yes. And is it even yours?
No.
No. And what purpose does it serve?
Same. Safety and protection.
How does it know how it's different from the black smoke tar thing?
There's a different cause. Meaning it was created by a different
Yes.
experience.
Yes. And same question that I asked you before, do you get a sense of what part of you, like what part of Kaylee you need to activate to move past this one?
So I do know now. I can hear the pieces of what parts need to be activated.
And how does that feel?
Scary, I
Yeah.
think is the word I would use.
Yeah. Ask the flaming sword, does it have any wisdom for you? Like any words of wisdom or anything to share that perhaps you haven't noticed in its current form, but now that you're giving it your full attention?
Oddly enough, it's saying shine bright.
Interesting. And it is a flaming sword. So
Yeah.
how does that feel to hear that? How does that feel?
Uncomfortable.
But is it uncomfortable as in like when you are standing too close to a fire, or is it more uncomfortable like when you go out into the sun after you've been inside for a long time and you just got to get some shades?
Yes, probably that one more.
Yeah. So as you like feel into that discomfort, but then your eyes begin to adjust or you've put your sunnies on, how does it feel now to be like, oh yeah, shine bright?
Like I want to curl up into a ball and go into my cave and disappear.
Yeah. Allow yourself to do that. For now, we've got time. Imagine curling up into a ball in your cave and disappearing. And as you do that, what happens to the sword?
Oh, new parts popped up. The sword is dissipated because now a new part's popped up because this is a different part that is activated.
Separate to the black smoke tar?
And
where's this part?
more on the right, like more around my appendix, which
Okay,
I don't
perfect.
have anymore.
Oh, well, where it would be figuratively, yes.
Yes, if my appendix was still there, my poor appendix.
And how does that part react to you, like relaxing in your cave?
It gets really triggered by it, doesn't like it.
Interesting. Can you just ask it why that is? Like without judgment, just say, I'm just wanting to have a conversation. I'm curious what's, like not what's your beef, like argumentative, but more like, okay, this is all good, but how come?
Because I need to be taking action and doing things and moving and creating and participating and not isolating and disappearing.
And whose voice is this?
Oh, that would be my mum's.
Interesting. And asking Kaylee's higher wisdom. So thanking Mum's voice for bringing this to our attention, but checking in with Kaylee, who's resting in the cave. Where are you more likely to take the action from a place of rest and recuperation, or from a place of shoulds?
I am more likely to take it from a place of shoulds, but I don't, because I don't want to take it from a place of shoulds. So instead I
Interesting.
sit down, and I guess that's what I'm doing at the moment. I'm sitting on a rock going, I don't want to do anything I should do. I want to do it because I want to do it. So I'm not moving until I have the desire to do it. And
Yeah,
until
yeah,
then, I'm going to sit on this rock.
yeah. But if you think about it, in day-to-day life, if you were literally going to make that stand or sit, as the case may be, eventually you're going to have to move, because you're going to be hungry and want to source some food, or your daughter's going to say, hey, Mum, can we whatever, or you're going to have to use a bodily function. But what would it be like if you just allowed yourself, maybe not all day, every day, but for a period of time each day, to sit in your metaphorical cave and notice the voices that are trying to direct you, but not engage with them? Like, what do you do purely for you?
Nothing. I'm very aware of that. And that's what I am trying to do at the moment. But there's always something that has to be done. Like the other day, it was, funnily enough, the other day I went, okay, I'm going to wake up and I wash the dishes. Then I'm going to go and make the bed, and I'm going to sit down, and I'm going to do this prana breathing, and then I'm going to do my stretching, and then I'm going to let the chickens out. And then I had a rough sleep, so we ended up sleeping later than usual. So then I got up and washed the dishes, and then I looked at the time, and I had a call. So this must have been last Friday, actually, because then I had a call at 9, and then I thought, okay, I don't have enough time. I have to go and let the chickens out. So I'll do that first, because now it's too late to do the meditation before I let the chickens out. So I'll let the chickens out first. And then as I was turning around and coming back, out of the corner of my eye, I saw the meat sitting on the freezer, and I went, shit, I have to put the meat away. You can't go, because if I did the meditation, then the yoga, then I would have had the 1 hour or 2 hour call. And then we had to go out, and I thought, I can't leave it that long. I have to do it now. And so then I went and did the meat, and then came inside, and my daughter said, Mum, when are you going to sit down and do that breathing you were going to do? And I looked at her and I said, honey, I just gave that time to the dogs because I had to put all that meat away. And she's like, okay, so when are you going to do it? I said, I don't know, because now I have to go and now I need to go and give time to this person that I'd arranged a call with. And then I need to give time to you, because then we need to go out. And then I need to give time to these people because I've agreed to do that thing. And then I need to go and buy this stuff because we need this stuff for the animals at home. And then I get home, and now it's like, okay, well, now I need to give time to people online and get on Facebook and respond to people's messages or text messages. So now it's the end of the day. Now I need to go and give time to the dogs and the cats and cut up all of their meat. And now I need to give time to the chickens and put them away. And now I need to give time to you to make sure I make food for you. And then I might be able to squeeze in some time for me to make myself some food. And then it's time for you to go to bed. So then I sit in bed with you, and then we fall asleep, and then that's it. I said, there is no time today for me. So yeah, no, the answer to that question is I don't.
Yeah.
And I did it this morning too. I was thinking the same thing this morning. Oh, I wonder if this morning I could actually do some breathing today. And then the same thing, I got up and I did the dishes, and then I went out and let the chickens out. And then I turned around and walked back and went, oh shit, I've got to put the meat away for the cats. And so then I came up, got the containers, went back downstairs, put all the meat away, put it in the freezer, came inside, and then went, I've got an hour to make breakfast, get ready, and then get on the call with you. I went, I don't have an hour for breathing or sitting or quiet. And that is kind of I'm acutely aware that my time is well, I have to do something for the dogs, have to do something for cats, have to do something for chickens, have to do something for the kid, have to do something for other people. And that's what I said, most of my upbringing is, how can I serve the external world? Because that's vastly more important than me.
Yes. And have you ever, for any of these things, just said no and done your thing?
Yes, because there was a time pre-kid and pre-dogs and pre-cats where I used to sit for 5 or 6 hours a day and meditate. And that's where all my awareness came from, right? When you sit for a year and a half, 2 years in quiet, 5 or 6 hours every day, you get to know yourself extraordinarily well. And that was me putting me first, but I didn't have anything. I
Yeah.
just had me. I
Yeah.
had a partner, but you know, it's
And does
easy.
it have to be a lengthy period of time? Like, is there a structure that you work through, or could you just take a few moments? Like, I'm just going to take 3 breaths or a minute or something. I'm genuinely curious.
So I have narrowed it down to because I am aware of that. I went, okay, I sort of went through the same question. Okay, well, if I cannot give myself an hour, what can I give myself? I went, you know what? I can give myself 1 breath.
Yeah.
Okay, I will take that breath. And so every now and then throughout the day, if I remember, or if I'm really dysregulated, like if my system has absolutely fried itself, I will stop and breathe. And I would just say, okay, and everything goes into that 1 breath. So every ounce of awareness that I can bring into that moment, I will close my eyes and I will stand and I'll breathe all the way down to my toes and I'll breathe all the way up to the top of my head, and I will just sit there and go, I am in this moment right now, and that's all I have to be right now. And I'll be in that moment. And then as soon as that breath is over, then I'll be off again doing whatever. But I do more so when I feel extremely dysregulated, because I just can't function. Like my brain is frazzled and it's bedazzled and it's completely fried. And I have to I don't have a choice. I have to stop.
Yeah.
I can feel my adrenals going, and I can feel the anxiety, and I can feel the tension, and I have to stop.
Well,
So
I'm
I do
just
it then.
curious if, and this is a suggestion, we'll see where we go with it. That 1 breath, if you could make that, or start to, and see how it goes before each thing, before letting the chickens out, before feeding the cats, before feeding the dogs, before, like, just 1 breath. Because I'm thinking sometimes we think we need an hour or we need a period of time,
You
but
don't, you just need a moment.
yeah, how
Yeah.
could you carve little micro moments for yourself during the day?
It's funny, I've actually said this to other people before, and I've said almost the same thing. I said, look, can you, when you're on the toilet, because I do this when I'm on the toilet, and I do it when I'm washing the dishes. Again, if I remember, I will breathe when I'm on the toilet, because it is now, thankfully, that my daughter's older, I can now say, I just need a minute. You don't need to be in the bathroom with me.
Oh, those days, yes, when that happens, you feel like a new person.
It's only just starting to happen now that she's 9, and even then, it's very unusual that I don't have a dog or a cat, or at the moment a chicken, because the chicken's in the
Chicken's in the
bathroom. So
bathroom,
now I have a
yes.
chicken in the bathroom with me when I go. Uh, that I do try, but I like what you said, and I hadn't thought about, well, what if I can, before I go and feed the chickens, take a minute to take a breath? And what if before I start feeding the dogs and the cats, I can take a minute to take a breath? And what if before I get in the car to drive my daughter somewhere, I can take a minute to take a breath? And I can hear you saying, why don't you make yourself first by taking that breath before you do something for someone else, even if it's only 1 breath? And I love that. And I guess there's that part inside of me that's going, oh my God, that's such an awesome idea, because then it's only 1 moment and I can take a moment to make myself first. And then this other part goes, yeah, but will you? Like,
Did
you're
you ever like
you.
science at school?
No.
I was thinking, okay, what about magic?
Sort of, but where are you going? Tell me where
I
you're
was
going,
thinking
and then I'll tell you.
science, it's like an experiment. Sometimes we
Yeah.
have the part in our head, and especially if you've got the part saying no value, no matter what you do, there's no value, and that's 100% going to be very loud. But if you're kind of like having the thing that goes, well, I could try that, then it's like an experiment. I'm going to try this for a week. And then when you forget, instead of going, see, you've got no value or whatever, it's like, oh, I forgot. Like my kid forgets their lunch from school. And then I get a call from the office and I have to go and drop it off there. I don't think my kid's worthless. I'm like, oh, it happens. But if you try it like a little experiment, and the way to think about it is, hopefully you eat a couple of times a day, not just once. Some people eat, but like these little breaths, these little moments are like little recharges that you give yourself throughout the day, or you drink water a few times a day. It's similar that you're giving yourself these little boosts throughout the day. And with your daughter in the car, perhaps, depending on how receptive she is to it, you might invite her to take a breath with you if she asks what you're doing or whatever, because it's a great skill for kids to have as well.
It is definitely. I love the idea, and I can really feel that challenge of, yes, but you've had lots of ideas and you haven't followed through with them and you haven't done them. So, and it comes all the way back to what we talked about in the beginning about the choice of, well, I know I have the
Yes.
choice to do it. I know I could do it, but will I do it? And that is the being at the crossroad of the train, and this is no different.
Yes.
Taking a breath, putting myself first and taking a breath is me turning the steering wheel. And so I find myself getting to that point, not knowing how to turn the steering wheel. Like I can come up with a 1,000 different tools and 1,000 different ideas, but it's the execution of doing it. And I love the idea, and I can see the value in it. And I can say, yes, if I can put myself first in each of these moments just by taking one breath, that would make a difference to my day. And it'll also make a difference to how very slowly how I feel about myself. But how do I execute it? How do I do it?
How do you execute it?
Make sure I remember it. How do I?
Yeah,
where
that's a
is that
question.
part
Seriously, what
inside of
comes up
me
for you?
to do it?
What will help you remember it?
That I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if it's going to be writing things all over the house and sticking them all over the walls. Remember to breathe, and having, like, how sometimes if you have just one piece on your fridge, after a couple of days it just becomes normal because it's just one piece. And then I'm looking going, yes, but what if you had 1,000 pieces of paper all over your entire house that says remember to breathe? You don't think that's not going to seep into your brain because everywhere you're looking is a sign that says remember to breathe. It's not just one, and it's not just one alarm going off, which is so easy to turn off or ignore on your phone.
I've got a suggestion for your phone if you like. There's an app called Mindfulness Bell.
I don't actually have a phone at the moment.
I was going to say, well, if anyone listening, Mindfulness Bell, what I love about it is you can set it to go off randomly.
Oh,
because I know so
really?
many people, and you can choose how many bells you want to go per hour. So my phone, it's muted while I'm working, but it has one that goes randomly per hour. And that is the thing, because when I set it for on the hour or whatever, I just ignore it. But the
because you know it's
randomness,
coming.
yeah.
I love that randomness. So can you Facebook message me the link to that?
Mindfulness bell. Yep, I'll make a note.
And then I'll put it in the description of this.
Yeah, make sure you choose the random option for anyone listening because it's so good. What is something like if you see the chickens doing something or you see the dogs playing or something like just random that you might, because in that pause, the moment you pause to admire it, you can take a breath. Like for me, when I see the clouds, I particularly love sunrise and sunset, and I'll deliberately pause then, even if I'm knee deep in the garden or you're trying to get the kids' hair done or whatever. Just something for you that little moment that you might notice.
I think it's going to be kind of like the randomness belt, but also I think my brain just told me put up lots of pieces of paper around the house that say remember to breathe. Don't just have one or two. I'm sitting here at the moment and behind my laptop is a wall, and I thought I could have 10, 20 pieces of paper that say remember to breathe on that wall, which means anywhere I look on that wall there's going to be a message that says remember to breathe. My brain can't turn my head to look somewhere where there isn't a piece of paper that says remember to breathe, because there's one that says remember to breathe. And the fact that my brain has said that, I'm looking at going, you know what, I could actually give, and she would love to do this, I could give my daughter a whole pile of torn up pieces of paper and say, can you write remember to breathe on all of these, and then go and stick them in random places all over the house. And then I'll say to her, and every couple of days, can you just go and move them to different places? So she can be my random.
Yeah, she could be your mindfulness bell.
My
Yes.
mindfulness bell. She can be that random thing, and she would go and move them around the house like she does with a lot of parents hate this, but I love it. Ever since she was little and she's putting the knives and forks away, every time she puts them away, she always
Rearranges the order.
She always rearranges the order. So every time I go in to get a thing after she's done it, and the first time she did it, I heard in my head, you need to make sure she puts those in the right way, because that's not okay. And then there's other part, the good parent part inside of me that I am so tuned into, went, hang on a minute. This is amazing. This is how she's going to express herself. So don't be an asshole and let her express herself in that way. And I had this internal fight with this part inside of me that wanted to be an asshole to my kid. And so now it is that randomness that every day when she puts the dishes away, the knives and forks, I never know where they're going to be. So
I love that.
I put my hand in and I pull one out. It's like, shit, Bailey, put the dishes away. And then I have to look. And it constantly keeps me on my toes. So I think she would love that, because she.
The other thing, one last suggestion, we're at time, but just something to think about if it feels good. If she's going to hide them for you randomly, which I love, if when you saw it and if you did action it, if you're like, okay, yes, I took the breath, take that piece of paper and then you can give it to her to hide again.
That is such a good idea. I'm going to do that. Thank you.
Yeah, but sometimes it's just the little things. Try it for a week. I love how you're bringing your daughter in it. I love the random part of it, but gamification can be a changer depending on how you're wired. So I think that's amazing.
Yeah, and I can hear my cooker clock going off, so you're right, it has been an hour.
Sweet. So what has been your biggest takeaway from this session? I definitely got a lot more awareness around, I get more specifics around the value trail, following the train down, but also just that the realizing that it's not enough for me to put an alarm on my phone once a day or twice a day, or it's not enough for me just to put a piece of paper on the wall. I need more than that, and that's okay. It's okay that I need 1,000 pieces of paper reminding me to do this one thing. It doesn't matter if nobody else needs that. It's okay that I need that. Yes.
And so yeah, that was just sitting here going, because there's this part of my brain that going, don't be such a fucking weirdo. Don't put random pieces of paper. People are going to think you're weird. And then there's this other part of me going, it's okay. People can think I'm weird, because I am weird. Because I'm not
unapologetically weird.
Because I don't fit in the box. I don't fit in the box.
Yes.
And that's okay.
I love that so much. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for coming on. Do you want to share where people can find you?
Certainly. So my name's Suzanne Kohlberg, the Nope Coach, and my website is suzannekohlberg.com. And I also have a podcast called the Nope Coach Podcast, and it's a daily show. I'm aiming for 365 days, and I'm on the home straight now. I think today's 320 something. So
wow.
Once I reach the year, then I will reevaluate. But 15 minutes or less daily doses of, I don't know, hopefully inspiration.
Awesome. I love that. Thank you. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you so much.
That call was so cool. I don't know. It was just really cool. I wasn't sure where it was going to go. I didn't know where it was going to go. And that that idea of putting 1,000 pieces on the wall, that just made so much sense in my brain. And also bringing my daughter in, she would love to do that if I give her all of these pieces of paper and say, do this. I'm just going to take these out. For some reason, they're hissing at me. I think she would love to do that because she's so aware of what I'm going through, and she is my little reminder sometimes. And so if I want to do something, then I'll mention it to her and she'll remind me, or she'll ask me, or she'll check to see if I've done it. And I think this is something that she would really love to do. And like I said, if I just put it on the fridge, or if I just put it on, sorry, I had an itchy back. If I just put it on my laptop in the morning, so when I come in, well, I can easily just take it off and not do it. But if it is in multiple different places around the house, then that part of me that doesn't want to do it is going to see all of these different messages and go, oh, for God's sake, just do it. Just do it. Just do it so I can take that one piece off the wall and then give it to my daughter so she can put it somewhere else. But I feel like there's that part of me that's going to get so annoyed that it's going to start saying, oh my God, just bloody well do it. Enough is enough. Just do it so we can take these damn things off the wall. Yeah, that was really cool. I so enjoyed that. Please make sure you go to the description below. All the links will be in there. If you want coaching yourself, you can go to the links below. And if you'd like to donate to this channel, I would greatly appreciate it. And please subscribe. I'm working at getting to 1,000 subscribers. I'm at 700 and something, 730 or somewhere around there at the moment. So I don't have that many to go. I would really love to get to 1,000 subscribers. And then my aim after that is 5,000 and then 10,000. And then we'll just keep going. The sky's the limit. Isn't that what they say? I'm trying to think if there was anything else that came out of that call. I think I really shared what I got from that call in that call, and the technique was really valuable to follow those parts that are currently activated, to follow the parts that are really stuck in the I have no value. I hadn't ever sat and thought, what do they look like? And seeing that flaming sword was actually really cool. That was a really cool part. I hadn't seen that before. So to see that it's a sword, and I also, interestingly enough, see that it's a sword because somebody stabbed me in the back, which was my sibling, and hence the sword. So I thought that was really interesting. And what else? It really was, I shared it in the actual call. It really was the more clarity that I received, and seeing these a little bit clearer. It's like I was aware of them, but the awareness is clearer. It's as if I just put on my glasses. So I can see stuff without my glasses. But if I put them on, I can see them just a little bit clearer. And that's what I feel like I got from this call. I can see these parts and I know they're there and I can see them. However, putting glasses on just made them a little bit clearer. It's like, okay, now I can see what that's like, all the little intricate parts that make that up, not just that part as a whole. I can see more specifics. So that was really cool too. Yeah, I think that's it. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you enjoyed this call. As always, I am really enjoying reading your comments. So if you got anything out of this, if you went and followed through with the technique, if you had those same kind of issues, if you found clarity over something that you did not know was there before, please share it in the comment. I would really love to read all about your journey. My filler. Thank you. Thank you. Bye for now.